I was 19 or so working graveyard shift at a big retail store, and back then my ego was so large it could have had its own moon. Anyways, I was gifted a coveted position for the night that the supervisor wanted to see if I could manage. Turns out I couldn't find my ass with both hands and a map, let alone manage this job, so they ended up sending in the regular guy to work circles around my dumb ass. In retrospect, I see that was the case, but at the time my response was to be an offended little shit. Finally, the end of the shift arrives and I'm riding my BMX bike home, just plain fuming. Smack dab in the middle of my self-righteous tirade, the chain pops off the sprocket. I lose complete control of the bike, wobbling and weaving, and then going right over the handlebars. What happened can only be described as a self-inflicted curb stomp. I come to in a pool of blood, and all I can do is make nonsensical noises with my now defunct mouth. Broken jaw in 2 places. Mouth is wide shut for over a month. After a couple of weeks on a liquid diet of breakfast shakes, things are getting a little desperate. Then, boys, I find myself at the end of my rope. I've caught the stomach flu. I fought off the urge to vomit as long as I could. Sooner or later, it just couldn't be helped, though. I stumbled over to the toilet and assumed the position. Turns out being on a liquid diet for a couple of weeks doesn't necessarily mean there won't be any solids coming up. Oh, there were plenty. In fact, there was enough to start clogging the only escape routes the liquid had in the small gaps between and around my teeth. I'm realising this as the second wave of vomit had more pressure behind it. The third wave had nowhere to go but up. Yeah, boys, projectile vomiting out of your nose is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It doesn't even have the decency to make it to the toilet bowl, spraying down the front of my face, shirt, pants, and even eventually making a puddle at my knees. Damn near instant reaction in my sinuses as they light up like a Christmas tree in a house fire, burning from the stomach acid coating them, pumping out enormous amounts of snot, making breathing even more impossible. I then crumble on the bathroom floor, choking, coughing, and still heaving from my stomach, trying to expel whatever demon was spawned from the breakfast shakes and the different blended entrees I could manage to suck through a straw. Fellas, I'll be lying if part of me didn't want to just let death's icy fingers take me to the next place. But mostly it was panic that I was going to die, choking on my own vomit and snot in a pool of said liquids on the bathroom floor of my mum's house. Finally, after what seemed like minutes, it was probably only 30 seconds tops, I was able to get a gasp of breath through my teeth as the vomiting subsided, the burning in my sinuses lingered for a while, and the smell seemed like it would never go away. But I came out the other side of this with a little bit of clarity.